Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to, in fact, the best day of the week here at High Top Sports. We're talking all things Florida versus Texas A&M. We got a Texas insider joining later on in the show to preview that game with us, what we should be looking for, where the gaps could be, where Florida can take advantage, and where he thinks A&M will take their advantage. We get a availability report to talk about. A lot of boys out. And we talked about it this morning, but more reports are coming out in the sense of where Napier sits after this game and future for his Florida Gator career, depending on how the next few weeks pan out. A miracle is what's being said. Pickles, of course. Both, I don't understand. The Bosby talking some smack, boys and girls. You would think he's been undefeated for the last 3 weeks in a row. Can't wait to see his beautiful face later on in the show. Boys, without further ado, David Swolder joins us. What's going on, big dog?
Man, oh man. I think I was talking to you before we got on the show. What a fun time, fun atmosphere I had at the game. I mean, the tailgating was great. Just the atmosphere inside of the stadium. It was a packed stadium, and there was a little bit more Texas fans than I expected, but all the Texas fans were pretty kosher for the most part. Nobody really talked smack or anything. So shout out to the Texas fans. They were pretty respectful, at least the ones that I ran into. And I got to give some shout outs, man. DJ Puppy Love. He was right beside the Harmonic Woods tailgate. I didn't even know his wife had came over to the Harmonic Woods tailgate. Then I kind of moseyed on over there. Had a little drinky-do with him. Got a cute little dog there, by the way, there as well. So shout out to DJ Puppy Love and his wife. Also got to give a shout out to Kareem Roberts, man. My phone was about dead by the time I was getting back. He handed me a portable charger for a little bit, let me actually charge my phone so I could get in touch with Rook so he could take me back, whatever. And actually former football player too. He actually takes care of Ben Hanks, or he took care of Ben Hanks when he was young. So shout out to him. Shout out to Watchdog and the Harmonic Woods tailgate, everybody there. Shout out to them as well. I got to give a shout out to those guys. And Casey Griner. She was right behind me with her husband, or I guess it was her boyfriend, husband. I don't know, the significant other. I'll just say that. They were right behind me in the crowd. Said, hey, we love the show and all that. So I figured I have to give them a shout out as well. So, I mean, man, it was just a fun atmosphere from Friday to Saturday. I mean, just the Gator fans atmosphere. Spurrier's was packed. There was like a 3-hour wait to get a table. So we had to go to Miller's and drink over there, eat over there and stuff. So overall, pretty fun, man. One of the funner weekends I've had in Gainesville, that's for sure.
I love it, man. That's awesome. And shout out to Mama right there. It looked like it was electric. We were talking before the stream. It was probably the most fun we've had for a watch party for Florida football ever. We haven't really, we've done a few here and there, but this one was electric. It was a must-watch game for sure last weekend, to say the least. And shout out to everyone. You see the picture of DJ Puppy Love. That was not what I was expecting DJ Puppy Love to look like, but incredible stuff, to say the least. It's Cody's birthday. We talked about this on this morning show, but everyone give Cody, the prof, a huge birthday, a huge shout out. And also, too, tomorrow morning, we are live every single morning, every single day at 9:35. Been having a fantastic time for all the ones that tune in with our morning show. Tomorrow, we're doing a call-in show. So if you guys want to call in, get some things off your chest, preview the A&M game, give us your thoughts on that. Would love to have you there and see you there. This is DJ Puppy Love, right?
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
Right there,
So
right?
they said their name on the video, and I tried to learn it. How do you say it?
It's Palatial Entertainment.
Palatial Entertainment. Gonna forget it. $5 for Puppy Love. Full Palatial. See, I already did it. Support the
DJ
troops.
Puppy Love.
DJ Puppy
Love
Love. I love it. I love it. Quick little story time, real quick, boys. So, Little Man 1.0, Beckett. I mean, he's. People like to say when the new kid comes around that, there's some changes. I think he's been fantastic with Coop, but he still has bad days, like we all do. We get hungry, we get grumpy, we fuss and whine. And so he was throwing a little bit of a fit the other day. And every time he does it, Kayla goes, he's going through regression, babe. He's just going through regression. Like, he's not going through no regression. He's fine. He's just having a bad day. And so she's been extremely emotional with just hormones raging and having a new baby. Like a good emotional, like just sad watching her babies grow up, right? And we're in the front seat, and Beckett's like talking to Coop, like, Coop, my best friend, I love you. And she starts bawling, like just crying, right? And Beckett goes, Mom, what's wrong? And the moment struck. I go, she's fine, but she's just going through a regression. Don't worry about it. I mean, she spit snot everywhere. It was fantastic. But so listen, anytime your girl starts going through it, just hit her with, "Hey, it's okay, baby. You're going through regression. don't worry,
Shambles.
don't worry about it." Yeah, it's looking, man. It's good baby stuff, baby stuff. But no, it was fun. It was a good time. I had to share it with the crew. That all fun stuff. I was dying. I was dying.
Yeah, I know. You call it baby shambles, right? When the boogers come out and the tears come out and everything else, man. It's just like when they pee and poop themselves. I mean, it's called shambles. That's what we call it.
Yeah,
Baby
that's shambles. That's what it is. That's what it is. But all right, boys, let's get after it, man. So let's do you want to do the report first that just dropped? Actually, we can break into that and then we'll talk about DJ Lagway here. So the initial report, man, this scared the hell out of me, man. We've got Texas A&M. We'll go over their list first. It might take us a minute. Out, Jared Kerr, questionable. Scooby Williams. Okay, we can move on. So for Florida, we have out Trayon Webb, LJ McCray, Aaron Gates. None of those are new. Dejon Johnson. So Aaron Gates, McCray, Webb, and Dejon. Webb is, I don't know, but the other ones I believe are out for the year. Caleb Banks, I assume, is out for the year. We haven't got a timeline. I'm just assuming. And then now Duke Clark, we saw him get a stinger last week. He got 6 carries, but he was definitely running back 2 last week. He is out, meaning if they're out today, they have to be moved before that. I think tomorrow to not be out. But these guys are more than out. Then unquestionable, who's been on this list: Aiden Mizell, Mizzou Tunkerer, the wide receiver, running back Jacoby Jackson, offensive lineman Devin Manuel, the backup to Austin Barber, offensive lineman Roger Kearney, the backup to Damian George and Najee Harris, tight end Tony Livingston, who has been a big factor, and Joseph Mabachu, who hasn't played in 2 weeks. So the new ones I would say are Mizell, Mizzou, Manuel, Big Rod, and Tony Livingston. Now, questionable doesn't mean they're out, but you never want to see that heading into a big game where it's must win. For me, the offensive line and tight end are the biggest concerns. And now Jacoby, because we're down Duke, who was running back too. So if he doesn't play, we're extremely thin when it comes to that running back room. Again, wide receiver-wise, Aiden Mizell has been off and on. I would like to see him some more. Again, he's been questionable, I would say, almost throughout the year, but as we've seen him continue to play. So I'm not too concerned on him just yet.
Yeah, you might see some Rubio out there at running back there if it gets pretty thin, or some KD Daniels mixed in there with Jaden Bob. But hey, look, man, the injury report was pretty bad before Texas, especially D-line wise with Caleb Banks and all them out. And them boys got after that quarterback. I'm telling you, 6 sacks. I mean, 33 pressures. I mean, look, man, and I'm sure we'll talk about this a little bit later. The thing that really bugs me is, like, why couldn't we have seen this week 1, right? Like, who are the better? I mean, Brian Taylor was making plays. Like, all sorts of people were making plays on that field. And you're thinking to yourself, it's like, okay, well, Texas, they recruit pretty well. They recruit top 5, sometimes top 3, depending on, what service you go by.
Very
and you're
talented.
just like, okay, if we're taking care of these boys and we're giving our guys protection and the quarterback, where was that against USF? Where was that against Miami? Where was that against, some of the other tougher opponents you played, LSU? I mean, like, that I would say is probably the most frustrating thing for me with Billy Napier, is the fact that it seems like week 5 and 6 is when Billy Napier figures everything out. And it's like, hey, man, you went like 1-3. So we kind of need to make up for that. You don't really have a large margin for error, especially now because you're still in the hot seat and all the hot seat talk is. But I mean, I don't want to dumb down the victory, because the victory in the Swamp was it was electric. DJ Lagway probably played the best game of his season, almost going there for 300 yards passing. And Dallas Wilson, man, that kid, first game, true freshman, 111 yards and 55 yards after the catch, broke 3 tackles. Guy tries to come back in. He loops him off out of bounds, tries to come back, tackle him. Safety tries to clobber him. Dude still stays on his feet and drags the other dude that's trying to tackle him into the end zone. I was like, man, this is what a 5-star wide receiver is supposed to look like, and that is Dallas Wilson. That kid is a tank. He's every bit of 220. I don't care if they have him at 213. He's got to be 220, 225, running them 4.4s down the stretch. And I think that was the biggest difference in the game, was Dallas Wilson's presence made it to where Vernell Brown and a lot of those other guys could get open and make plays as well. And you're looking at everything down the stretch and you're saying, okay, look, if this is what our D line can look like, our O line can look like down the stretch, and what our wide receivers can look like, maybe there is an opening that you can pull off some of these games against a Georgia or a Florida State or a Tennessee or an Ole Miss or something like that. So, it kind of gets you jolted and excited, but at the same time, I remember saying last week that Texas is pretty winnable because of the quarterback play. Arch wasn't playing great. Um, the one thing that really irritated me was Billy's conservativeness towards the end of the game. I think that, with Texas just being on your heels, you're in a 15-point lead. You probably just need to put the foot on the throat, score another touchdown, and then call it a game, or at least get a field goal to call it a game. Florida didn't really do nothing that. It was more of just running up the middle and just the crowd was booing when that stuff was happening. And
Yeah,
Billy
we heard it.
and and these name like look down the stretch, like you cannot do that. Like these teams, like Texas A&M, like Georgia, like Tennessee, they're gonna make you pay if you do stuff like that. So hopefully, Billy learns from that. And he did say in his presser that he did kind of, I guess he alluded to being conservative at the
He
end, and
acknowledged
maybe
it. Yeah.
he acknowledged it. So hopefully down the stretch, Billy can learn from that. And if he does get a big lead, he just puts the foot on the throat.
Yeah, aggressive has always been something that he hasn't been kind of too keen on. And even when we talked with his brother at the first game, LIU, he goes, "Look, that's not his style of putting up 190 points." And I get it. Like
Yeah.
if you're playing LIU, I don't need 100 points. But this is an LIU. Like there's don't leave any doubt, right? That in these type of games for sure. Dustin G says, "I don't know where to find the stat at. Was it just me or do we send way more edge pressure with our D-backs?" I'm going to talk about that actually later on. We definitely had changed the game. We talked about Stephen Harris on Monday a little bit where we were bringing a ton of pressure and it wasn't coming from, just your linemen. They were doing some specialty blitzes with Devin Moore, with Sharif Denson, and we're being disruptive. It was very fun to watch. And again, I think that we're going to, I'll foreshadow this a little bit in preview of Texas A&M. I think we pull that back. We're going to have to with Marcel Reed's ability to move in the pocket and their ability to run the football. And I believe their O-line is much, much more potent. Yeah. Now, do I believe that they'll throw a mixture of this in? Yeah, I think they will. And I'm glad they showed some of it last week. That was fun to watch. But that's the report there. Let's talk about this before we get into, we've got about 13 minutes here until our Texas A&M guy joins us to break down that game with us. But we talked about this morning, and then more and more articles continue to come out. I mentioned this in our morning show in our Discord because it was the Gator Football Nation podcast where they spoke that someone they had on the show was either associated or had connections. I mean, everyone has a source, right? Where it comes from, but connected with the UAA, and they felt that if Billy were to go 6-6, that he would still be safe. Like, this was the news in our Discord, and the Discord was in shambles, all right? Like, the boys were going nuts. And then very quickly afterwards, our guys that are close to the program said, listen, that's not what we're hearing. It's still, you've got to win. You got to go out and do something special, which this is what I've been kind of preaching is like, for the ones that are adamant about getting Billy out of here, it's a win-win because either we go on just a miraculous run, and, I mean, at that point, what are we even talking about? Or it's not going to work out and Billy goes on his way and we move on, and the ones that want that are going to be rejoiced. So for those that are cheering against Florida, rookie, you're a punk. All right. So, but here's the article from Brett McMurphy here, where this is backing Andy Staple, who we spoke of this morning, both from On 3. And here's what he had to say. And barring what multiple sources called a magical run, a miracle finish to this season, he won't have the opportunity in 2026. There's still a divide camp at Florida. The source said the administration would love for Billy to win and be successful, but the people that pay the bills, the big money boosters, do we want to throw names or no? Okay, they know he's not the guy. They're over him. There's too much evidence he's not the guy that can win a national championship. And then Brett added a little flavor, says national championship. How about keeping your head above 500? The players love him. The team has bought in. A source said he doesn't have discipline issues or so many things to like. He's managed to build the program. He's good in the building, around the building. Billy does most everything right Sunday through Friday. It's just a nightmare on Saturday. And by golly, it has been definitely one of those situations. And so, look, for us, I'm reporting on this, and this is how I feel it should be. I said this, even though I was frustrated after week 2, I said, listen, and people are like, we shouldn't even talk about winning out or going. It's not about like this like hoorah. It's a simple factor of we all said 9-3. A lot of us said 9-3, 10-2, 11-1. Right? We had our optimism of the situation, but 9-3, we all felt that hey, that is a doable season to get you into the playoffs. So the schedule is a gauntlet. You still have to go win football games. You got to win them close. That's part of the game, and that opportunity is still there. It's still intact. But again, you have to do things that I don't think a team has ever done. to be honest with you. I don't think a team in the last 20 years has gone on a run that Florida would have to go on in the sense of beating 5 top 15 teams over the matter of 6 weeks. And not to mention, that's one gauntlet. The other gauntlet are internal battles that Napier has to overcome, which is winning on the road, winning multiple games in a row, and beating multiple top 10 teams in a row. Again, barring a miracle or a magical finish to the season. So I don't, again, I'm not, he put himself in the situation. And so that's why I continue to say it's a win-win for the ones that won it all. We all want success. I wanted to. But I want to go kick some ass on Saturday. Even more, this makes me feel even more confident. Like, look, like we genuinely, as Florida fans, like at the end of this, like, yeah, it's going to be kind of a, an interesting breakup. Before you go, Dave, too, we talked about this morning. The new NIL rules, I think, may have allowed for this news to drop. And you can speak to this if you think that I'm right or wrong on this. But the news dropped this morning that with the new NIL adjustment, that kids can't enter into the portal until the new coach after 5 days of being announced. So once the new coach is announced that he is hired, 5 days later, the kids can then enter into the portal for 15 days. Okay? So, but prior to, as soon as the coach quit, boom, they could go in the portal. They have 30 days to do whatever they pleased. Now, you have a little bit more of a leeway. You can have some gamemanship here of like, hey, let's go bring in so-and-so, right? We'll just, for fun's sake, we'll call him Dane Miffin. And he comes in, he can chit-chat with some people before it's even announced, right? And then you can announce it and move forward. So, interesting stuff. I rambled a little bit there. You can kind of take it from there and give us your thoughts on it.
Well, now I got 3 things to talk about. Yeah,
Sorry.
I was going to say 2. Now I got 3 because, I'll go ahead with the NIL rule or whatever. That is true. So now what would happen is if your head coach gets fired, nobody can transfer until a new coach is hired. And then after the new coach is hired, they got 5 days, and then kids can enter the portal for 30 days.
15 days. 15.
That's right, 15. And then I think that it's still being voted on because it said it would be voted on Wednesday.
Yeah,
so I haven't seen anything, Matt Zenitz or anybody post anything yet. So I guess I'm assuming that's still being voted on. So that's not set in stone quite yet. But as far as the Brett McMurphy article, I talked to some boosters, that probably the same ones he's talking about over the weekend, and that was pretty much the case. It was like, okay, well, and I love James DiVirgilio. He knows he has a lot of connections. He's working the UAA and all that other kind of stuff. So I know, kind of a lot about him too. And they even said that, like, look, no, it's 8 wins or bust. Like, literally 8 wins or bust. And look, you got to think too. It's like, say Billy does go 6-6, right? And the athletic director, for some reason, says, okay, well, he can stay, right? And he's got to hire an OC, which that was the stipulation this year, and Napier never hired an OC. So those boosters are already irritated as F, anyway. So if you bring him back next year, he goes 7-5, 6-6. Those boosters probably won't donate much. People are probably going to be discouraged, not want to go to games. You're probably not going to get a lot of NIL support. So what would be the point in keeping him anyway, right? At that point, you might as well just get rid of him, try to start something over new. Now, if he goes on a run, he goes 9-3, makes a playoff, then we're talking a whole different story. So that's what I've heard over the weekend.
So. If you go 9-3 and you go on a playoff run, yeah, the conversation should change. That's what I've been saying. People are like, no, he's getting fired. Like, that's asinine. If he goes 9-3, like, what are we talking about? Like, if he does that, he does everything you could want from a head coach. I mean, he goes on a phenomenal run, beats teams that are, I mean, I wouldn't say better because I think talent-wise we're right there. The other part I would say, like, there was something I was thinking about. So listen, I feel like years prior to this, like the Mullen era and the McElwain era, I wasn't a huge fan of how those two kind of navigated the recruiting cycle. I always felt that they said, like, we're Florida, you should just want to come play here, where Napier brought a different approach to it. What this 4 years has done is, I would say, because there's obviously the conversation of, like, Florida's not an appealing place. Like, obviously there's a few people that spew that out there. This man has had more backing from a sense of financial support, whether it comes to coaching, hiring, NIL, the NIL connections that Florida has. It's at a really good place, in my opinion, of showing that everyone is supporting this thing to be successful. Like, I know, like, with the Strickland situation, people kind of are frustrated and hate him, but to his credit, you don't like him because he's been all in on Billy, but he's given everything to Billy to succeed. outside necessarily holding his feet to the fire on the OC situation. But when it comes to the financial support and whatnot, because when we hear about, hey, why isn't our roster as much as Texas? I don't think it's because Florida refuses to spend it. That was more of a Billy's decision on how I want to manage, which again I've always supported. I don't care, and I think it's actually been backed with the talent that's there. It's just now getting all to click and work together. But yeah, interesting stuff. All a great weekend. Great article from Brett McMurphy there as well too. Go ahead.
Yeah, it sucks because like you've got Gator fans that want to lose because like they want the new head coach so they can win again, and then you got Gator fans that just want to win. Period. So they just want to see wins on the scoreboard, and it's like you're having fans at each other's throat right now to where it's like
It's crazy.
everybody wants. At the end of the day, everybody wants to see wins, right? And they figure that maybe a new head coach equals wins, or maybe Napier can just pull a hat trick and run the table and see wins, and we go to a playoff. And it's so crazy to see the back and forth on the timelines. And like, look, I've made jokes about it, and look, shout out to Tyler. I was in a DM with him, and I was messing with him earlier. It's like he wants to win and all this other kind of stuff. It's like, look, I'll make my jokes, but at the end of the day, like, I'm going to be a man of my word. If he makes a playoff, I'm going to support him next year, and I'm going to be like, all right, he figured something out. He got to a playoff, and shoot, maybe he wins the damn thing, and then we're not even worried about it anymore. There's a 1% chance that all of that happens, but there's still a chance, right? But at the end of the day, I'm going to support whatever happens afterwards. If there's a firing, that's cool. I understand it because he was here 4 years. He had his, he should have had the team prepared week 1. 2 years in a row, he didn't. It took him mid-year to figure things out. We don't need that at the University of Florida. We need something else. We need a coach in here that can have his team prepared week 1, go out there, win some football games as well. So it'll figure itself out. The time always heals all wounds, whether it's bad or good. So we're just going to have to sit here and see what happens in futuristically. But, man, I'm telling you, I don't think that he's going to be kept if he goes 7-5, 6-6.
No, not for sure. HB says 2 coaches who won at College Station are Muschamp and Mullen. Napier is neither. No, Napier won 3 years ago. It was my son's birthday. He won at College Station 3 years ago. It was.
He may not even be kept if he goes 8-4. I mean, honestly.
Well, so that was kind of what we were talking about too. But I mean, that's look. We're past that. We'll know on Saturday. Like we can kind of talk about like the 8-4 thing conversation can happen on Saturday. I don't want to get too much into the weeds on a couple of super chats here, and then we'll have our guy here joining us in just a few moments, which will be exciting to talk about this Texas A&M game and preview. $5 from Anthony Robertson. I think KD Daniels would do just fine. He's got fire to him. Go Gators. I agree. KD Daniels is phenomenal. He's very electric in the backfield. I wonder, I love that Duke got the starting role over him, but you wonder why that is. Could it be lack of protection? Like those are my reasons why I'm not too concerned with the running back room, but more so of like, okay, if 2 running backs are out, you're up on. I want Jayden Ball to touch the ball 27 times again anyways. So I really don't even want to see the second running back, but you don't want to go, be empty-handed either.
Look up KD Daniels' rushing stats in high school. He's got some insane ones.
Yeah, he's a freak, yeah. Billy got handed a Lambo and can't reach the pedal. From Nick. $2 there from Nick. My guy, Call Me Old Fashioned, says, question, if Billy willingly give up the play calling and hired a good offensive coordinator, would all be forgiven? No, it's too late.
Nope.
He had his...
Nope.
He's got to win football games. There's nothing that he can do at this point from a logistics standpoint or managing standpoint to over correct what he has done. I do believe if he would have gone out and got a offensive coordinator, I think the leash would have been longer. I really do.
Yep.
I think he would have bought himself some.
Yeah.
Now you all would not be happy, like the Daves and the Rooks, and some people would still be extremely frustrated calling for his head. But I do believe that he probably would have. Maybe not. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe, we really don't know in the situation. This is kind of what I said in the discourse. Like, guys, we don't control whether he gets fired or hired or extended or what have you. We control our emotions. And we can definitely have a place of talking about it and get, have our frustrations. But come Saturday, boys, I'm cheering for the orange and blue to leave it all out there on the line and getting after it. I got to tell, like I told you, man, this Saturday, outside the last 5 minutes of the game where Cody and I were ready to just rip each other's heads off, because I was just sick of the negativity and he was pissed because of the way it was going. I was like, just shut up, Cody. Everything up before that, bro, was electric. It was something. It was magical. I'll tell you what, man. It was a good time. It felt like the basketball streams, but like a level 40,000. It was because it means more for football. Maybe an attitude issue. Yeah. Oh, for KD, you never know. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you get your buddies together. You start watching a game, man. Everybody's going to be at each other's throats. It's going to be cheering. I mean, a lot of emotions go through a game.
You hope to not be at your buddy's throat.
I think that's Puppy Love's wife right there.
Okay,
I think
Kayla
it
Wright.
is.
I was wondering. $5. Thank you, Kayla Wright.
Look,
Appreciate the love
looks like it.
from Mrs. Puppy Love. All right, let's get Tony Catalina. I hope I said that correctly. In here from Texas A&M, my man.
How's it going, guys?
It's going well, man. Going well. Good
I
to
do,
see you.
man.
Really appreciate you joining us here today. How you feel about this game this weekend, man?
I think it's gonna be a good one. I mean, obviously, I think people came into this week or were coming into this week saying, "Hey, like Florida's looked down a little bit. Maybe they weren't going to take it as seriously." But for Florida to find a way to go and play their best game of the year and beat a Texas Longhorns team that needed a victory, I think it's kind of woken some people up and knowing that like, hey, this is a team that's talented, can beat you in Kyle Field if you don't take them seriously.
No doubt, no doubt. Tony, before we kind of get more into this game, man, tell the people who you are, your association with the Aggies, and also just where they can find you, man.
Yeah, I'm over at the Austin American Statesman. I'm the Texas A&M beat reporter here in College Station. Find me on Twitter at Tony_Catalina, and I appreciate you giving me the chance to kind of plug that.
No, I appreciate you reaching out. It's been awesome for us to, and shout out to whoever tagged you and said that you would be down. I mean, this what's great about the internet is just we've had multiple content creators come on and beat writers like yourself. So to get some insight into your thoughts on this game feels really good. This NA team, man, has looked exceptional the first few weeks of the year. Obviously undefeated. Mike Elko's done a really good job with this football team. It was a team that I had circled before the season got here. I've had it circled now. Things I think changed for Florida, right, where our mindset's at, which makes that game even more interesting than it probably would have been. But what are some things that you want to see Texas A&M improve on? I know they've been kind of had a lot of penalties over the last couple of weeks. That's been a concern for them. But I feel like there's just been some really clean football from everything. Do you see things tripping up, or do you see them kind of capitalizing on it and getting better this week?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think the play has been clean, right? I think offensively they've done a lot of good things, whether it be in the passing game or in the run game. Like they've been more dynamic as an offense, and obviously the last 2 weeks have been their best performance on the defensive side of the ball. Averaging 9.5 points given up over the last 2 weeks in SEC play is a heck of a feat there. But I think the one thing that you touched on briefly is penalties, right? Like they have been a heavily penalized team, and so I mean, I've done my study too. Florida is, for all and purposes, a pretty disciplined team. They don't get as flagged as A&M does. So if A&M is going to come into this game and not play clean football, Florida, you can't just expect them to go and shoot themselves in the foot either. So if A&M is going to find a way to win this game, and obviously the vibes here are good. 5-0, got a chance to be 6-0 for the first time since like 1994 or 2006. It's only happened 3 times in the last like 30 years. So the vibes are good, but they got to find a way to not beat themselves. And I think the Gators are a team that are good enough to beat them if they do that.
Dave, what do you got for me, big guy?
Yeah, I mean their D line's been on fire. Cassius Howell's already got like 7 sacks this year too. I've been watching a lot of film on that. Torian York, their linebacker, is really good too. I mean, just defensively, I would say that Texas A&M will probably give us a way better defensive matchup than obviously Texas last week. Of course, the quarterback play will probably be a lot better. Marcel Reed's only thrown 3 picks this year. He's thrown almost for 1,300 yards. Last time we played A&M last year, he ran all over us in the swamp. Now, of course, you add Miles Graham to that lineup and some of the defensive guys that we have on that linebacker core, they've been pretty good at stopping the run and being up front. Can Marcel Reed, can some of those running backs at Texas A&M get around that defensive front there for Florida? Now, if this D-line plays like it did against Texas, I think this game will be close. Now, do we get the D-line? And that's the big question. Do we get the D-line that played against Miami, LSU, some of those other guys, or do we get the D-line that plays against Texas? I think this is going to be more of a I hate to say it's going to be a low-scoring game because I don't think it'll be very low-scoring, but I think it'll be like maybe in the 20s or so. Part of me thinks that Florida can keep it close. I mean, I think the spread is pretty right. I think it's like 7.5 right now. I think it was 8.5, went down to 7.5. But I think the spread is pretty correct in Vegas because I think Florida has a chance to keep this game close. But I also think that Texas A&M has a little bit more offense than Florida does as well. And I think they have a better play caller there as well. And I like their corners too. I mean, you've got guys back there that have just been making plays like Paul Hawks as well. And, you insert Dallas Wilson. He was the weapon that we had against Texas that, It was his first start last week, had 111 yards. How much of an impact does Dallas Wilson make in the backfield with Verno Brown III and some of the other receivers? I think it's on paper, it's a really, really good matchup. Now, I think Florida, from the quarterback play aspect, the DJ Lagway aspect, if he plays the way that he played against Texas, he plays pretty consistent, maybe throws a pick. I don't think if he throws 2 or 3, I think we're in trouble. But I think if he maybe throws 1, has a kerfluffle or something like that, I think Florida can stay in this game. But, if Florida is the offensive line is giving up pressures, which I think Texas A&M is going to get some pressure on Florida just because I think their D line is really, really good. I think if Florida's starting to give up a ton of pressures, DJ Lagway's throwing interceptions, turnovers, it can turn into an ugly game, it being away at Kyle Field. Billy Napier is 0-9 against ranked teams in away games as well. So can Billy Napier get the monkey off his back? That is the big headline that I wrote about on the High Top Sports just today on the website. If you check out the article, I think it's a good matchup on paper. I really do. But I think that if you were to tell me if one team was to blow out the other team, I would have to pick A&M over Florida because Billy Napier never blows anybody out to begin with. But I think this game will be close. But at the end of the day, it's all going to come down to the line of scrimmage between Texas A&M and Florida.
That is,
I'm with you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, it's all well said. I think what's interesting about A&M is their third down and their pressures and their sacks. It really starts and comes with how they do on first and second down. Elko talked about it this week. Is can you get them behind the sticks? Can you get them off script, or can you get them off schedule here? And then they're allowed the benefit of going ahead and pin the ears back and rushing the quarterback. So if Florida is finding a way to use that run game, and DJ Lagway keeps the ball, in offense and not giving it away, like there's a chance and there is a recipe to kind of slow A&M down. So I hear you on that. I don't expect a blowout one way or the other. And the SEC is funny. Every week is a battle. So as long as Florida keeps this thing close, there's nobody who doesn't think they can come out of here without a win.
A lot of key pieces on this A&M team. Cassius Howell was somebody that you mentioned. That is, for those that have been keeping a track of this, that was a name that Florida was in the mix for just 2 years ago. They ultimately went with, we all know him as George Gums. That was kind of what it came down to between those two. Cassius Howell didn't have enough, the arms weren't long enough, was kind of the joke that we all ran with. And now he is a key component for the edge. So we'll see how he performs against Austin Barber. Barber is coming off the week of playing Colin Simmons. I think he did a good job with him. The one thing I got to compliment A&M on is Marcel Reed has the cleanest jersey in college football when he walks off the field every single week. And that's where all my eyes are, because I think Auburn, what they did a good job was they didn't necessarily get to Marcel like they probably would have liked, but they played a very similar defense that Florida has played weeks leading up to it outside of last week, where they were able to bring some more pressure, where they hold the edge, they contain the pocket, where Marcel can't really utilize his feet, forcing him to throw and make some big-time throws, which the talented wide receivers of Mario Craver and Casey Conception are going to get open. The secondary for Florida with the injury bug right now, it got kind of torched at times last week. So that's going to be a part that has to step up to the offensive line, which that, in my opinion, I think is not being talked about enough on this Texas A&M team. What are some areas of concern besides the penalties for us Florida fans that we can maybe look to capitalize on going into this game on Saturday?
Yeah, I think it's a good question, because honestly, unbiasedly, they've been playing pretty stout football on all sides of it. Like, when you look at the way they've played, they've won in unique ways. They find ways that, defense is really clamped up, or offense has been clamped up. I would say the biggest thing that's messed them up has truly been the penalties, and it's the slow starts, right? Look at the way, Mississippi State was leading 3-0. A&M looked, lethargic on offense, and then all of a sudden, they had one, chunk play touchdown by Casey Concepcion, and it kind of changed the trajectory of the game. But without that, like, they just have been a little bit of slow starters. I mean, when you look at the deep analytics of like each quarter, they're 17th in the country in the second quarter as far as like holding teams to points. Like the scoring, like, are only allowing like 4.5 points per quarter in the second quarter. But that's because the first quarter has almost been like a find and seek mission, and they really haven't come out and inserted their dominance against teams in the first quarter. So for Florida, the key is get out fast, right? If they can get a defensive stop, they can score a touchdown and kind of put A&M them on the heels, that's a situation they really haven't been in a spot to really have to deal with, right? Like Mississippi State took a 3-point lead and they had a 15 play drive, but that's all they got out of it before A&M kind of buckled. So one of those things is where if you can start fast, you can score points and you can kind of limit their ability early, they'll be in a good spot, but nobody's been able to do it thus far.
Yeah, the Notre Dame game, in my opinion, was the best test so far that A&M has had to go through, and is a great test on the road. I think it's a very good Notre Dame team. I think C.J. Carr is exceptional at quarterback there. That obviously became a barn burner. And again, I think A&M tried to give it away at first. Notre Dame was running away with it, but like you said, they kind of were able to. Mike Elko does a great job of adjusting. And honestly, for me, my concern is going to be Mike Elko, that Bateman defense, what they're able to throw at DJ Lagway. How are they going to be able to confuse him? The success that I had, what I saw that Notre Dame was having, were more just kind of your bubble screens, your dump off passes because of the way that they play defense, they speed they have on the secondary. They're going to bring a lot of blitzes, I believe, on DJ Lagway. That's where he has struggled. So it's going to be a really good matchup. I think I say it week in and week out, and it's surprising that we're this far into the season. And I mean, maybe not surprising, but we're still learning a ton about each team. I think A&M fans, I think you guys are feeling pretty good about where you're at, and you're very confident. In the same breath, I still think that you're probably a little bit of kind of gun shy because you haven't truly, tasted it just yet, right? I mean, Mississippi State feels like it was a good win because there were some expectations for Mississippi State coming into this. Auburn feels pretty good because I think they have a very talented football team. I think they're, very one-sided offensively, but you're winning games that have people kind of like, hey, they can be scary ones, but ultimately A&M has handled them, I would say, pretty soundly. Even with the Auburn game being a 6-point game, it never felt like Auburn had a chance, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, it's been really interesting to watch because, and you're right about the fans. Like these fans are scoring fans. These are fans that have seen this team start 7-1 last year and finish 8-5. So like I don't think anybody's gonna believe it until it happens. And I think we're gonna have to get deep into the season before people start to relax because a 7-1 start, one of the best starts they've ever had in conference play, and then all for naught, it ends up being the same, song and dance every year. So yeah, and when you look at this schedule of preseason, this was like where the meat of it started for them, right? When you had to play DJ Lagway, preseason Heisman hype, Florida Gators, a team that was supposed to be one of these top teams that they're going to play. Then it's Arkansas in Fayetteville, and it's supposed to be LSU at Death Valley. And when you look at the schedule, it's starting to not be as daunting as they thought it would be, right? But you don't want to get out in front of your skis and stop thinking one game at a time. But we're allowed to do that, right? So like now, when you sit here and say this is a Florida Gators team who you kind of came into the season saying, man, if Lagway is what everybody thinks he is, this is going to be a battle. And it's still maybe, but, there's a little bit of blood in the water. I think you guys would agree with that. And so for A&M to be 5-0 and be the team with the expectations and to be a top 5 team, it feels like uncharted territory. And so it's kind of just new for everybody here.
Before last week's game, has your confidence adjusted a bit, seeing it click a little more last week, or do you still feel kind of how you were feeling regardless?
No, I think anybody who watched that Florida Texas game and doesn't realize like, oh yeah, this is what Florida has. Right, this is what they can be. I mean, for them to go and handle the Longhorns, like it's got to adjust it. And I think when I speak for the fans, like I saw the conversation change. We're like coming into it like, oh, we should steamroll Florida, we should steamroll Florida, and then you're like, oh, wait a minute, DJ's doing his thing, and Billy Napier's took his back off the mat and so to speak. So there's a lot of pieces there to be nervous about because top to bottom, you look at this roster, it's a talented team. There's no doubt about it. The Gators have talent, so they can come in and beat you. There's no question.
Yeah,
A&M gave up.
I'll even add.
Go ahead, Dave.
I was just gonna say that I'll even add this is gonna be one of the tougher off. This is gonna be the toughest offense that Florida's ever played. I mean, just about every statistical category. If you go by team rankings, I like to go by that because they count out the FCS opponents and they put just FBS on there. I mean, they're top 30 in points per game, yards per game, points per play, yards per play. I mean, Florida is going to have a tough test against Texas A&M's offense. So I think that, what we saw last week against Texas, everybody knew Arch wasn't the greatest quarterback at quarterback play, but he still almost rattled off 300 yards passing. I think he had 70 or so yards rushing before he had all the sacks added on. I think he only had 20 when the sacks were added on. But, I mean, Marcel Reed can run and he can throw the football. So Florida, I think, is going to be tested pretty good offensively.
UTSA, I think you gave up on the ground 222 yards. First game of the year. I know it doesn't really tell you too much, but Could be a telltale sign again when you're trying to find holes of like, hey, where can we capitalize on this Texas A&M D? Again, I don't know if they've been outside that Notre Dame game truly, pressured and tested to their bend point just yet. And look, that's a compliment to them. They've played very well, very good. Even with the penalties, they've played such good complementary football. It hasn't shot them into the foot where they've had to bend too much. But allowing 222 yards, we know Florida's identity and their ability to run the ball like they did this past weekend. Is that something that is a concern, or do you think A&M? I know they've been much better on the run defense over the last couple of weeks. It could be obviously the other team just not that identity. Notre Dame, we thought they would be more a rush team with Jeremiah Love. They really haven't shown to be that team that we thought they would. CJ Carr's been much more quarterback heavy, which is fine. It's a different approach to it. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think every week in this conference is a test in the run game, right? Like whether it's Fluff Bothwell last week, or Jadarian Price when you played non-conference, like, or Jeremiah Love, like you said, and it's going to be a question mark until it's not, right? And I think it's a little bit of a cop out answer, but at the same time, you look at that UTSA game, and on the surface, you're like, oh, UTSA, they put up all these chunk yards. But you look at Robert Henry, and I think for like 4 weeks or 5 weeks out of the year, he was like the leading rusher in the country. So, he's somebody who can play. He's probably going to be playing on Sundays. But yeah, I mean, I think if the Gators are going to beat A&M, it's going to come with an effective run game. They're going to control the time of possession. If they don't turn the football over and they're able to chunk 4, 5, 6 yards a carry, like A&M has been there before. They've been, South Carolina and Norris Sellers and those guys, Rocket, those guys are able to run all over them and find a way to, kind of snuff them out and not be able to come back. I mean, Marcel Reed, to his credit, is been great in these situations where they've been down and they had to come back. But there have been teams, like I said, South Carolina and others who have been able to, keep them at bay and find a ways to win. And I think a lot of that starts with, the run game.
Tony, I really appreciate you again, man. This has been great to get pick your brain on it. A&M, I mean, hey, look, kudos to you guys. Mike Elko has been a phenomenal hire thus far, and it looks like you guys are building something special, to say the least. What's your score prediction for the game on Saturday, man?
Yeah, I think I went with, I mean, it's almost kind of generic, but I think it was 27-23. I think A&M finds a way, just one more play, right? And it really just comes down to one more play, and it could go the other way, and we could be talking about Florida having the same score, but I think I'm going to go to Aggies 27-23.
A tight one. Okay. Love it.
That's how I do it. If it's if I think it's going to be close, I always just put on the orange and blue glasses.
Listen, this is a game. I mean, like I said, I've watched enough A&M football at this point where, like, I could tell early on what we're going to be in store for. And if Florida comes out and plays like they did last week, I know that everybody's going to have to buckle up.
Yeah,
right, and you're at home too.
And look, even Josh Pate said is like, for Florida fans, I think where the excitement is like, we got a taste. We do believe like there's still more left under the hood that could really ramp these things up. This game, even if it was what we thought it could be, was going to be close, in my opinion. So I think that Florida's got to play like they played last week and then some, and A&M's got to make mistakes. Like they've almost got to back them into a corner where they shoot themselves in the foot. That's football, right? You've got to be gamemanship here. I don't want to get into a bar burner with Marcel Reed and the weapons that you guys have, although we have weapons too. So it's just how they're utilized. But Tony, this has been great, man. Tell them again where they can give you a follow and support you. And we really appreciate you again for coming on here and talking Aggies football with us.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, over at statesman.com, and you can find me on Twitter, X at Tony_Catalina.
Awesome, Tony. Be good, man. Go Gators, and have a good weekend, man.
You too, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, man.
Great stuff there from Tony, man. That was a lot of great information. Yeah. Again, kind of how I felt that the game would flow. Is it looked like he said, man, I've watched a lot of film, gone through a lot of the data. This team's good. In and out. They don't have too many holes. And again, have they been truly tested to their will? I mean, outside that Notre Dame game, which was their second game of the season, how much stock can you really put into that game? I don't know. So again, that's the one thing that I do like about this Florida team is they're battle tested, right? They've been chopped at the knees. They've tasted blood. They've tasted dirt. There is something to that that you can carry into these games where you feel like you're not out of it. But it's Mike Elko. He's a beast. He's a tank, and it's gonna be a fight. It's gonna be a fight. I'm excited for it. We can get old Bozeman in here if he's listening. I don't know. Do we have to text him? He's so bougie with it anymore. I don't know.
Yeah, he always arrives. He's always like a late arrival. He's like, oh, arrived late. And he's too flashy. We need to humble him a little bit.
you would think by watching, like, by how he acts, like he's undefeated.
Yeah, when we were at Texas Roadhouse like that Friday, he was just like, "Yeah, man, I'm gonna get it this weekend," and all that. He was already talking crap about it. So I mean,
Puppy
do you
loves to be
text
aware
him?
the
You want me
regalo's
to
only
text him?
getting started. Puppy loves all in.
Oh, yeah. I mean, hey, look, man. If you're a Florida Gator fan and you saw what happened Saturday, I mean, there's some confidence there. I mean, there's some
Hey,
confidence.
even the
It's stuff that.
snipers in, boys. 31-28. Tides are turning. Listen,
Uh-oh.
they genuinely gave me, some blood from what we saw. Like Saturday, I was really excited with how they looked. I genuinely enjoyed it here. All right, let's get this son of a gun up in here, boys, for our pick'ems for today's show.
There he is. The door. I mean, at least it's the door. We can hear ourselves.
What are we doing?
Yeah, yeah. Where's Bozeman? Is he there he?
Oh, here I
Oh,
am.
there he is. Snake eyes.
I was trying to turn this thing around, but it looks like I got to turn it around again. All right, hold on.
Alligator
bad.
eyes, maybe.
Gator eyes, baby. Let's see. How's that?
That hoodie is sick.
Yeah, right. Thank you.
He's got the score. He's got the score behind it.
Yeah, why are you guarding the score?
Oh,
Yeah.
it's for the drama. I'm creating the anticipation.
Okay.
He's
Are we
creating the
there?
drama. That's
All right,
what
go
that
ahead.
is. Okay.
Where are we at after
All
week
right.
6?
All right. So after week 6, last week, Smolder, you took a little bit of a dive. You went 2-5.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, I got the picks here somewhere.
2 and
Here it goes.
5?
He's lying.
Tough
He's
week
lying.
for the guy.
Yeah, Smolder was 2-5. He only picked Alabama and Texas Tech. Every other game you picked was a loss.
Okay.
Me and Shelton went 4-3. So
I told you we tied. And you try to
All
play
right,
like
all
we
right.
didn't.
I didn't. All right.
So are we all tied now?
So
Ah!
there you go. Everybody
Clean
17 and
sweep.
22.
Let's go.
Now I'm gonna have
Everybody
to try.
17 and 22.
Let's go.
And if you notice, I moved the order around to where I'm first, Smolder's second,
Okay.
and Shelton you're third, because that's going to be the way it's going to be the rest of the year.
Okay. All right. I love it.
Put you last.
I love it. This is awesome. This thing's coming to a head, and I can't. I'm so pumped. Also, too, guys, you see the pick'em sheet's a little skinnier. Bozeman has been in such shambles. The fact that we are this far into it and that you're tied with Dave and I, you should be highly embarrassed. Like
Well,
you
let me
should.
tell you-
You're critical of Napier's performance. You're Napier. Napier's won more than you have. He's at least 21 wins. But I digress. Let me finish. So he wanted to add 2 more games at the buzzer here. So that's why I threw in those two up at the top. Go ahead. What were you going to say? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I was going to say, no, that's fine. The reason that I didn't come in here and just blitz you guys is because it's terrible for viewership. Your listeners don't want to see this out-of-town guy coming in and making you guys look bad. And I got a 10-game lead. They're going to say, I'm doing it. It's better for ratings. But we're in week 6 now. Just like Napier, it takes, I'm going to turn the switch on. And I'm sorry, from now on out, it's not going to be pretty, guys. I'm going to show you guys what I got. I'm never going to get the lead. Shelton, mark this. You can clip this. You're never going to ever have a lead on me the rest of the year.
I can't. He is trying to talk me out of his head so bad. I love it. I love the appreciation. But I am in a zone that is unmatched. I even got to Dave's head earlier today. Like I'm dialed in right now, boys. I'm loving it.
You're not in my head.
These games are tough this week, though. When I was putting this together, I go, man, these are some dogfight picks right here. I almost Googled it.
Yeah.
I almost ChatGPT'd it.
There's really good. Was that a shot at me from my tech? Whatever.
I don't know. Real quick, super chat, $10 from Puppy Love says had to take a few backups of ours, but they Gator bait. We coming for it all. I love it. And Kayla Wright, $5 says DJ Puppy Love wife here as a dog. It was awesome to see y'all beat Texas. Y'all made me Gator chomping. Let's go. Magic, our German Shepherd says hi, Dave.
Yeah, Magic. That's it. Magic was the name. I loved it. I love that dog. By the way, little girl.
Dog
Hey,
fan. We'll
Shelton.
see. We'll see how the puppies vote against the Auburn. Go ahead, Dave, or go ahead, Bozeman.
Let me just get like a minute here to just go over real quick some of my thoughts for the game. So let me just start by saying, all right, all right, all right. Oh, Matthew McConaughey.
Hold on,
If you
hold
guys
on.
haven't seen that video,
Hold on, hold on.
Florida victorious, yeah.
You picked Texas, no? Last week?
That's irrelevant to this. Don't worry about
Okay.
it.
All right. I'm just
No, at the time, based on the information we had, that was the logical pick. You made an illogical pick, but you got rewarded, which I love it because my Gators won. But look,
we're
so
tied. I've
if
been
you guys haven't
illogical the
seen,
entire season.
yeah, no, if you haven't seen that video with Florida Victorious and
It was
DJ
good.
Lagway, Matthew McConaughey, please watch it. So Arch is going to join Peyton in the never beaten Florida club, which is now 0-5. But however, Eli Manning did beat us twice at Ole Miss, so that sucks. I mean, Eli's beaten Peyton, or he's beaten Brady twice, and he beat us twice. But I just want to give a shout out to Swolder. We had a great time Friday night and Saturday at the tailgate.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
The same with, and I want to say what's up to Gator Dave. We ran into Cam Parker, Dylan Olive, Harmonic Woods put on a great tailgate. We had a great time. Brendan, he didn't even want to leave. Usually he's like, Dad, I'm going to a frat party. I don't want to hang out with you old heads. But he stood out the whole time. He had a great time. Bree Wade and Riley over at Florida Victorious, Nick Delatorre, Laura Rutledge, Paul Feinbaum, and Tim Tebow at SEC Nation. I was there. I had my sign. I don't know if you guys have seen. I know you two have seen it, but I was in the front row, and they all took a picture of my sign. They haven't posted it yet on their social medias, but
There you go.
that was really cool to see them.
That's
I got
cool.
it right here.
Put the sign down. Let's kick. Can we do pick'ems? Are you done?
No, I was sitting next to Russ
It's
Calloway's
like a thank you
wife in the
speech.
stands.
Would you get an Oscar this weekend?
I was sitting
Yeah.
next to his wife and kids, and I told her, I said, I think your husband's calling the plays because we look really good. And she smiled and laughed. But yeah, that's it. All right, I'm ready. Let's do it.
I love Bozeman. He's my favorite part of the show. That's the only reason I look forward to it.
Thank you for the time. Appreciate it.
Oh yeah, look, it's your show. Again, like you would think that you've lost 3 times. Like we're tied, and I love the confidence. It oozes out of you. I can't thank you enough for it. All right, look, these are all these are
coming. The train's coming.
Yeah, train's coming all aboard. We got Pitt at FSU. FSU's going off 2 losses. It's a sneaky game here. FSU favored by 10.5. We'll let Swolder kick it off. Let's see if we can get the wheels burning here.
You said 10.5. Yeah, it's 10.5. It's too small on my screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, both offenses, Pitt and Florida State both have averaged over 30 points per game against FBS opponents. Florida State's defense hasn't been playing that great, but their offense has been playing good. I'm going to go Pitt because of the spread, but I think Florida State wins it, but I'm going to pick Pitt.
Bozy?
Yeah, so the spread's 10.5. So the series history, Pitt leads 6-5, and they've won 4 out of the last 6. FSU did win the last one 2 years ago, 24-7. But this stat is crazy. FSU's lost 9 out of their last 10 ACC games. When they first started in the ACC in 1992, it took them 13 years to lose 9 conference games. They were 101-9, and now they've lost 9 out of their last 10 ACC games. We can talk about Thomas Castellanos because he's, pretty much he can't throw, but he can sure enough run the ball. They got 7 running backs over 100 yards. Deuce Robinson's a really good receiver.
Yeah.
But the stat that's going to do it for me is Pitt is number 2 in the country in rushing defense. And what is Florida State going to do? Rush it. So I'm taking Pitt plus the 10.5, and I won't be surprised if they win it. But Pitt plus 10.5 is easy money.
That's that.
It's tough.
Eli Holston is their quarterback there too at Pitt, former Bama commit at one point.
Yep.
Yeah, the games they've lost this year, Pitt they've been torched in the air. I want to take FSU here. I just don't see them falling 3 weeks in a row. And I took them last week, and I almost wait. No, they lost by 6. Yeah, I almost got lucky there. Covering 10 is just going to be tough.
Yeah, I mean the 2 games they lost were to West Virginia in overtime by 7, but they lost to Louisville by 7. So that's their 2 losses.
Louisville, their quarterback passed for almost like 400 yards. I mean, he was just they didn't run the ball; they threw the ball. Yeah, Pitt is just is nasty up front. I it feels like it's an opportunity for me to get a point. That's where I'm at with it though, because I was feeling Pitt too, and I thought that you were going to go FSU, but I'm a
No.
sucker. Like, this is how I play the game. This is how I pick my bets, boys. I live on the edge, but now we're tied, and I don't want to turn into a Billy, you know. Give me the Knowles. Let's go, baby. Let's go. I'm ain't ready to B. Let's go. All right. I don't feel confident, but I don't feel horrible about it. You know what I mean? I feel like, because to me, it's a win-win. If FSU loses again, then sweet. I think if FSU wins, they win by more than 10. That's how I look at it. It's either going to be they win by 10 or they lose. So it's a win-win for me. I'll take it. All right, we got Ohio State, Illinois. Illinois is getting 14.5. Ohio State, we don't have enough on, in my opinion. How they handled Minnesota, though, they torched them. We saw what Indiana did to Illinois. I'm taking the Buckeyes here to cover. Dave?
Yeah, I'm with you on that one too. I'm going Ohio State. Their defense still playing pretty damn good, and yeah, I can't pick against Ohio State. Can't do it.
Bozeman?
Yeah, so excuse me. Julian Sayans having 13 touchdowns, 3 picks for Ohio State. Jeremiah Smith is the second best receiver in college football, behind Dallas Wilson.
Amen.
And they have a running back called Bo Jackson. That's pretty funny. You guys are probably too young to remember Bo Jackson. Well, Dave's not. Bo knows this. Bo knows that. Bo Jackson is the running back. Luke Altmaier for Illinois has not thrown a pick this year yet. 12 touchdowns, no picks. And Illinois beat Duke. They beat USC. Remember the USC a couple weeks ago came into Illinois. They beat them. And then they beat Purdue. They did get smoked by Indiana, but that was at Indiana. This game's at home. Ohio State's 5-0. They haven't really had a test yet except for Texas. Illinois plus 14.5.
Here we go. We got ourselves a ball game, boys. All right. We got Alabama heading on over to Bo Prebilu in Mizzou. Mizzou gets 3. Swolder?
Let me get Alabama. They run the ball a little bit better than Mizzou, and their quarterback's been there's a lot of vast improvement there. Although I do believe that this game and that spread is pretty correct, man. That is that's a tough one, but I'm gonna go Alabama.
Bose?
Yeah, so Bo Pribula, he's 76% completions, 9 touchdowns, 3 picks. Ty Simpson, though, 13 touchdowns, 1 interception. He's coming on. He looks really good. He's gonna be top. He's gonna be a Heisman candidate. Jeremy Bernard and Ryan Williams. Ryan's had a little bit of a decline since his last year, but he's still out there balling out. And then Isaiah Horton. So they got the trio receivers. Jam Miller, the running back, he's back. 4-1 against the spread for Bama. 3-2 Missouri. Bama leads the series 6-2, including winning last 6 in a row by a combined score of 195-52. Mizzou has not beaten Bama since 1975. I was alive then. You guys weren't, but I was. Bama won 34-0 last year. Here's a couple key stats. Mizzou has the number 1 rush defense in NCAA. Alabama has number 87 rush defense. The running back for Mizzou, Ahmad Hardy, is the number 1 running back in the country with 730 yards and 9 touchdowns. The problem is Mizzou has only played Central Arkansas, Kansas, Louisiana. They beat Mike Cox, and then UMass. So because of the level of competition, all those stats are saying Mizzou, Mizzou, Mizzou. No, Alabama.
Yeah, I think it's Bama. I'm glad that it's 3. If this thing was a little bit more, if it was like 7 or 8, I'm leaning Mizzou because I still think they are a talented football team. I mean, I think Eli does a great job there. I think that'll be coached well. I think it will be close. I think the 3 is a good number. It could be a push. It could be one of those situations, honestly, where Bama kicks one late. But Bama has seemed to flip the switch that you don't want to mess with them. Now, if they're not your Nick Saban's Bama, or they're just going to go in and roll them, I don't believe that either. I think Mizzou will be ready, and I think they'll be rowdy. But I think that ultimately Bama pulls it off. We got OU Texas. This one feels -1 seems crazy to me. I think this is the easiest pick. And this could be one of those games where you get caught off guard. I'm not going to waste any time. John Napier looks like he may be back, which is some voodoo if I've ever seen it. I don't care if he plays or doesn't play. The quarterback they're bringing in, he played last year. He filled in when Jackson Arnold left. It's not like he's just some guy coming off the side of the street. They got the new quarterback coach, new offensive coordinator. I think they'll be just fine. Their defense is where they've got to be concerned. We saw what our defense did to Arch their defense is a whole other animal, especially that front seven. So this is Oklahoma. The fact that Texas is favored is just beyond me. I don't care. Again, John, no John. Boomer Sooner, boys. Boomer Sooner. Bose?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was
go
going to
ahead,
say, you go ahead and put Oklahoma for me, too. I mean, that's pretty given.
Yeah.
It is pretty given, right? No, it's not. Sorry, fellas. Let me school you guys here.
Picking Texas?
The Red River rivalry.
Are you picking
leads
Texas?
60. Oh, yeah, I'm picking Texas.
All right.
Let me tell you why.
I don't want you to give me this whole spiel and not pick Texas. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm not going to do that. No. Texas leads 64-51.
Irrelevant.
Oklahoma's won 11 out of the last 16, but Texas won last year 34.
Irrelevant.
We just saw Texas, so we don't really have to talk about them. We saw what they got. Oklahoma, that quarterback is Michael Hawkins Jr., 55% completions. He's a running quarterback. I don't know if material play or not, but they got 4 wide receivers over 200 yards. Oklahoma's 3-2 against the spread. Texas 1-4. Oklahoma beat Michigan and Auburn. Texas hasn't beaten anybody. But I'm sorry, this is why I'm picking Texas. You got Arch Manning. You got Ryan Wingo. You got Colin Simmons, Xavier Filsaime, Wardell Mack, Kobe Black, Anthony Hill Jr. Too much talent. Texas is circling the wagons now. All this talk is going on. Oklahoma hasn't lost yet. They haven't faced adversity. Texas is going to win this game.
But they have Arch at quarterback.
Yeah, this is I think a reach in the Bozeman here. This could be a turning point for you, big guy. This could be where the ball is made or where the ball crumbles. Because this one seems too good to be true, and you're coming in here like you got it figured out. So
you'll see.
Is my Oregon Indiana spread correct? I don't think it is. I thought it was 3. I think it's 3. It's not 7. Is it 7? It is 7.
No, it's 7.5.
Holy
7.5.
All right, you're up, big guy. We got the SIG versus Oregon in Oregon. Who do you got, big guy?
They've only played 3 times because Oregon's new to the Big Ten. Indiana won the last matchup 21 years ago in 30-24, and Oregon leads 2-1. Dante Moore, 14 touchdowns, 1 interception, 75% completion. Fernando Mendoza, who is he? This dude's just balling. 74%, 16 touchdowns, 1 pick. So these two quarterbacks combined have 30 touchdowns and 2 picks combined.
Wow.
With 2,400 yards. It's sick. Oregon also has 5 running backs over 100 yards. They have a dude named Jordan Davison. Jordan Davison has touched the ball 23 times this year and has 7 touchdowns. Like, give him the ball more. He scores 1 out of every 3 times he touches the ball. Give him the ball. DeCorian Moore, 5-star wide receiver, who's going to be, freshman. He's second behind Dallas Wilson. Malik Benson, that transfer from Florida State. They also have 3 other guys over 100 yards. Oregon just beat Penn State, the whiteout, and it was a whiteout for Lanning that night too, if you know what I mean. But anyways, 3-2 against the spread. 3-2 against the spread for Indiana. Look, Indiana's 5-0. They smoked Illinois at home. This is on the road. Oregon fans are going to rally. 2 5-0 teams. I don't like the 7.5. They might win by a touchdown and then I lose, but whatever. I'm not going to pick Indiana. I'm going with Oregon.
Yeah, I think the SIGs, they got a little hot win off the Illinois W. You're not going into Oregon and gonna take this. I think this is where I think Indiana will play well. Oregon's gonna pull away late. There's just talent all over that football field. I think. Look, I know Penn State lost to UCLA. Penn State is still a very talented football team, and I think they just had a little bit of an off week. I mean, they're in shambles. Let's not get it twisted, but that was a good win when they pulled that off on the road for Dan. That's something that I think they've struggled with. This game, I think Oregon pulls away late here. Dave?
Yeah, I'm the same way. Give me Oregon with the 7.5. If there was more of a spread, I would probably go the other way, but no, picking Oregon.
I realize we're picking a lot of the away teams here. All right, we got Arky versus Tennessee.
Oregon's the home team.
I mean, prior to that game.
Okay.
Who's first? Who just went first?
I did.
You did.
So
it's me. No, it's Dave. Dave, you're up. Arky versus Tennessee. Tennessee favored by 12.5.
Yeah, go ahead and give me Tennessee. Their offense has been playing really, really good. Arkansas just fired their head coach. Give me Tennessee.
Bose?
Yeah. With the new coach, with Petrino coming back to coach, it kind of throws a wrench into things. You're not really sure what you're going to get. But
Right.
Tennessee leads the history 13-7. Arkansas has won the last 4. If you guys remember last year, that's the game where Nico ran out of bounds when they were down 19-14, and he had a chance to try to, he just ran out of bounds and the game ended. It's like, what? Why would you do that as a quarterback? But Taylon Green is a stud. He's ran the ball 441 yards, and he's thrown it for 1,400. So he's their whole offense. They got 6 wide receivers over 100 yards. They lost to Ole Miss, Memphis, Notre Dame. They're 2-3 against the spread. Tennessee, of course, lost that heartbreaking overtime game to Georgia when the guy missed the field goal in regulation. They beat Syracuse. They beat Mississippi State in overtime. Tennessee's going to win. 12.5 is a lot of points, and the new coach kind of throws a wrench in it. But I'm still picking Rocky Top.
I want to go with Arkansas here. I think Bobby Petrino is going to throw a wrench into this. Offensively, I think they've had no problems, Arkansas, scoring points. They didn't score any points against Notre Dame because I think Bobby was throwing that game to get his boy up out of there so he could take the reins. He's fired 9 people since that's happened. We saw what happened with UCA when they fired everybody. I think that Josh Heupel is going to be caught for a loop here, to be quite honest with you. I think Ark might be able to catch him off guard. This Arkansas team was kind of making some runs. They looked somewhat healthy kind of to get the season started with Bobby Petrino at the helm. It's not like they're just going to some 30-year-old blonde-haired cat that hasn't called a game before is going to use his headsets. Like, Bobby Petrino knows how to play the football game. And honestly, I think it's kind of worst-case scenario for Tennessee and Josh because of the unknown. Might get caught off guard a little bit what's going to happen. Defensively, I think is where I'm more concerned at. But I think it could become a bar burner. I think you're giving me 12 points in the Razorbacks. Come on, baby. Come on. I don't think Arkansas wins it, but I think they keep up. I like 12.5. I'm all for it. We got the Dogs.
So, hold up real quick. I'm sorry. There's one more stat I forgot to add, and you cannot change your pick after the stat. Arkansas is number 113 in the NCAA in passing yards allowed per game, and Tennessee's number 4 in passing offense. So that's your padlock stat right there.
I'm changing it.
Number
you gotta say that before.
113.
You can't wait until I pick.
I mean, you can change your pick if you want, but it'll make you look like a.
I'm not concerned at all. I'm not concerned at all.
All right, but. All right.
We got DJ Puppy Loves Puppies versus the Auburn Tigers. Who's up first? Who just went?
It's you. It's you now.
Is it me?
Yeah, I went first.
There's like a weird thing going on here. Auburn feels like because it's dark that they're going to play all of a sudden start playing some good football. You kind of anticipate them to play well. They had a weird off bye week too that Hugh was going to get fired, right? Like there was some smoke there that he wasn't going to make it to this game. You kind of question that. Georgia hasn't looked, the greatest, I would say. They covered against Kentucky by half a point, broke my dang heart, them bastards. At home, slow start to Kentucky. I just don't think Auburn has the entire tools to get it done offensively. I think they fall short here. 3.5 is honestly, I don't think enough. 6.5, I'm holding up. Give me the Dogs. Dave?
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Right.
I'm gonna go Georgia here too. Auburn's defense has been playing really well, but their offense is just like wishy-washy. And if I can't, that's the thing. It's like if Georgia punches them in the mouth, how is Auburn going to answer offensively? That's how I deal it. But I think Auburn's defense can make this a game though. But I'm gonna go Georgia.
Yeah, so this is called the Deep South's oldest rivalry. Started in 1892. Georgia leads 56-8. Georgia's won 8 straight and 11 out of the last 12. They won last year 31-13. Georgia, Stockton, Chauncey Bowens is a guy, he was committed to us. He went and visited them, and then he flipped and did that with the chain on and all that crap. And then they got Nate Frazier, so good running back duo. Zachariah Branch, Colby Young, receivers. Georgia never gets really good receivers. It's weird. 1-4 against the spread, like you said. Auburn's 3-2. There's a lot of talk about Hugh Freeze and his job security. So I don't know if the team will rally like they do when Napier's job security is on the line. But yeah. So what's that Georgia song go? How's it go, Sheldon?
What's that coming down the track?
Down the track. It's the Mean Machine in the red and black. All right. Give me Auburn.
Whoa!
I'm taking Auburn, baby. They're going to
Holy.
circle the wagons
Hey.
for their coach. They're going to either win or they're going to cover the 3.5.
Wow, Pat McAfee us on that one. This is crazy. This has got the most parity I think we've had ever. We've got right now. I mean, there's a lot of points up for grabs, and me and Dave seem to be riding the. Dave hasn't gone solo on any of them. He's right in the middle of the pack, so he can find himself kind of in the lead with this because he's riding these waves kind of nicely. It's kind of funny.
Riding the wave. Yeah.
If he takes the majority every single time, he could pull it off here. We got the Boz Cox, and it's perfect because Boz is up first. LSU in Death Valley. LSU -9.
Yep.
And this starts a stretch for the Cox like nobody's business, boys. I'm telling you what, golly.
That was tough.
I mean, I know it's brutal, but shit, we just went through number 5, number 4, number 3. I mean, we have a tough stretch too here, but yes, I saw that stretch too. So LSU leads 19-2 to 1 in the series history. Domination. LSU's won 8 straight. They won last year 36-33. That was a crazy game. If you guys remember, the Cox went out to an early lead, and then the refs kind of made some questionable calls, and they ended up losing by 3 there. But Garrett Nussmeier, I mean, I don't know. I don't think he's 100% healthy. He's not looking that great. The running game is terrible. Horrible running game. Caden Durham has 213 yards. That's their leading rusher. That means he averages like 40 or 50 a game. LSU obviously beat Clemson, which doesn't look very good anymore. They beat us, and it took 5 picks to do it. They lost to Ole Miss. 3-2 against the spread. Lenore Sellers is back. You know, he's still got that extra gear that Lagway had where he can kick it into the extra gear. Nick Harbor, that 5-star wide receiver, he's flashy. LSU is not going to run on my Cox. They cannot run the ball. The spread's too high. Their offense isn't very good. So do I think the Cox win? Probably not. But I'm taking them +9.
I agree. I'm hopping on the Boz Cock as well.
There's plenty of room. Plenty of room. Jump off.
Look, for a lot of things that you said, I think, Beamer ball is very similar to Napier ball, where they kind of find it. They'll find a gear when you least expect them. It's more so the LSU's offensive woes is why I don't think they pull away and get -9. I think South Carolina's strength is in their defense, and I think with Lenore Sellers being healthy, he's finding himself a little bit of a rhythm. Keeps it close. I think 9 is too many. I think this should be like a 6-point spread in my opinion, which would have kept it a little bit more true. I like the Cox here as well. Dave's got an opportunity here.
I would have picked LSU, but that spread is staring me in the face.
You're soft.
And I got to go with the Boz Cock.
Oh, brother. Well, I know where I'm going. I'm a fan. And somebody asked, I saw the comments, don't you get 2 points? No, these puss sticks didn't want to take the bet because they knew they didn't have that gator in them, if you will. Give me the Gators +7.5. Come on. Dave?
Yeah. Part of me feels like this game's going to be close more than it is going to be a blowout. And if there is a blowout, it's probably going to be A&M blowing out Florida and not Florida blowing out anybody because they never do. I'm going to go with Florida with the points.
Now he wants to come hop aboard, boys. You see this? Drinking the Kool-Aid. All right, Boz.
All right, so
big guy.
Yeah, series history. Texas A&M leads 4-3. Texas Agriculture and Mechanical School, the Aggies lead 4-3. They won last year 33-20. That's after that game we were ready to just that was the end of our season. It felt like 33-20 wasn't even that close. But I don't need to talk about Florida. We know what we did there. We got Dallas Wilson. It's a whole different team. The bye week. Texas A&M, Marcel Reed scares me. He made his debut last year against us and just ran everywhere. And we do struggle with running quarterbacks. But, Manning had some runs, but we mostly contained their running game. They only had like 50 or 60 yards rushing. Le'Veon Moss is a really good running back. So is Reuben Owens. Marcel Reed, running back. Mario Craver, 5-star receiver, and Casey Concepcion. They've got 9 touchdowns total out of the 11 that Marcel's thrown. DJ Lagway grew up about an hour from Kyle Fields, so this is going to be a pretty emotional game for him. And Florida is so. Here's the stats, guys, and this is why I got to pick what I got to pick. So don't hate me.
Ain't about it.
Obviously, Kyle Field, 103,000. They get pretty rowdy in there. They're known to be the 12th man. They do that midnight yell practice the night before the game. It's a little weird. Gig 'em.
You're picking them.
I mean, the stats are. I
No, go
can't
ahead.
pick against
Keep
stats.
talking. Yeah, keep going.
Look at this stat. This stat, I think Dave Waters.
Listen,
All right.
I'm not saying anything. Go ahead.
Texas A&M's defense has allowed 1 out of the last 25 third and fourth down conversions. So they've stopped 24 out of 25 third and fourth down conversions. Last 2 games, obviously 2 games ago, we went 0 for 13.
Just crown them national champions. Gotcha.
Florida is 5-14 on the road under Napier. He's never beaten a ranked team on the road or a team that's finished with a winning record. So, Yep. Sorry, guys. I'm taking the Gators, and they're going to win the game.
You suck.
The Gators are winning the game. I don't need points. Gators win. And I got it backed up on my betting slips. I'll send them to you. I'm in for a big 4 digits, Florida to win the game.
Golly, let's go, boys. Bozeman don't play no games. We're going to be state champs of Texas after this, boys. I'll tell you what. And then we're going to go to Mississippi and be state champs there. All right? Listen, Florida's out of wax, but that's okay. This is a hell of a pick'ems week, boys. A lot of opportunities to get some points on the board. Could be a fun one. It's not going to be a fun one. It's going to be, Boz, great as always. Always overstay your welcome,
Thanks,
but, we appreciate you, man. Good to see you, Bubba. Be good. Be safe. Pina coladas for the boys.
Oh, yeah. That was a really good pina colada. But, Dave, it was great seeing you. Sheldon, maybe I'll see you at one game. I know you just had the baby, but let's do Mississippi State. Are you going to be there?
All right, Bozeman. I'll see you later, buddy.
Maybe.
Later, boys. Be good. Love you. Be safe.
Wow, you just cut him off.
Not so fast, my friend. He hit us with a classic. Yep, I love it. All right, a couple super chats here, and then let's do 3 voicemails, Dave, because wifey's got to get to bed here for my shift starts on baby duty. $5 from Gator Zig says, win out, buy out, Dallas CB3 look stout. Give me a cold beer and watch A&M pout. Plant the flag, Gators by a million. Come on, Gator Zig. Put it on a shirt, baby. Yes, sir. I love that one.
Well, since we can only do 3, I have 4 from DJ Puppy Love. But
$2.
I'm going to play the last 2 voicemails either way.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to say, Florida's going to beat Georgia. It's going to be epic, and I cannot wait because my wife has been rubbing it in my face since 2020, and she still doesn't count that real.
You hear this?
Because of the COVID year. But guess what? We all know what's coming. They're weak. We're strong. We're going to beat Texas A&M, and we're going to shove it right down their fucking goddamn dog's throat.
You hear that, Kayla?
What I love is
we're Gators, baby. We were born Gators. We're going to die Gators. We're from Florida. We may have moved up to Georgia, but guess what?
You may have got them in trouble.
All these Georgia people, they don't know. They don't know about swimming in the lakes. They don't know about snakes. They don't know about anything. They think you can just jump in the lake and not even worry. Guess what? I'll wakeboard your ass. Motherfucker.
They know about Lake Lanier, though.
He's like whispering it so the wife doesn't hear it. Meanwhile, we play it live. He's sitting next to her on the couch, hearing all of it.
Oh, we just got him in trouble. Here's the second one.
Last time I'm going to call in. We beat Texas. We're going to beat Texas A&M. We lost to USF. Oh, that was tough.
It's like it just hit him. Shit.
Guess what? The writing is on the wall. The writing is on the wall. Double Texas win. We lose to USF. Who gives a fuck? My older sister went there.
Take that,
Nice.
Kayla.
What was his name? Matt Grothy? Yeah, they also beat Auburn. They were number 2 in the nation way back in the day.
His wife said divorce.
Those are great times. They got athletes, but it's all about beating them Texas mud duck. DJ Puppy Love out once again.
$5 from DJ Puppy Loves. Let's go. Incredible. All right, last one. Wrap it up.
I just want to say I love what you guys are doing.
Love you more.
I love watching every Wednesday. It is the best day of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Also, David, don't forget to mention if we can get everybody in the swamp waving those orange and blue flags, go Gators.
Oh yeah, so they were doing a lot of move back, you suck, and actually, hold on, real quick, they gave me a little towel.
Move back, you suck. Oh, that's lit. I've never seen that before. Is that new?
Get them for $20. Get them for $20. Harmonic Woods.
That's copyright.
Yeah, so the "Move Back, You Suck" chant came back, and it was the best thing ever, and everybody was waving towels and everything like that. So, guys, if you got a blue or orange towel, or you got a towel like this, start chanting again.
Little terrible towel. I like it. That's cool as hell. I haven't seen that before. Well,
I thought about hanging it up, and I was like, nah, dude, I want to bring them to games. So,
yeah, for sure. Move back, you suck. Boys and girls, great show as always. Shout out to Tony for hopping on, talking Aggies football with us, giving us perspective. DJ Puppy Love for sponsoring today's show with their comments in their super chat. Shout out to the wife. We apologize for our DJ Puppy Love. You know, it's just we love him. He's part of the. We keep him around. Y'all be good, be safe. Tomorrow morning live 9:35. We're doing a call-in show. Call in, talk with Cody and I. We'll have a show Friday morning live at 9:35. We're doing a show every single morning now for the next few weeks here live at 9:35. We'll see you Saturday at 7 p.m. kickoff for the watch party. Last week was an absolute blast. We hope to do it again, boys and girls. Either way, we'll have a call-in show after the fact. It'll be all good things, good stuff. Y'all be good, be safe. Till next time. Peace and love, baby.
peace.